YouTube, what is going on? Jamie the Kid 00 here, and I told you guys I'd be back. I'm bringing you guys another version of my Malacoda Burning Abyss build, and this time I'm actually not bringing it to rush it out. I'm bringing it to actually profile as I've currently been playing it. I have taken this to a couple of events. I took it to a regionals, and while I was robbed of a top, I was kind of happy with its performance. I took it to a regionals. I went undefeated the first 3 rounds. And then in the next 3 rounds, I only needed to win 1 game and draw 1 to top. In the next 3 rounds, I won all of my game 1s, tied one of my game 2, lost one of my game 2s, resulting in a tie. And in rounds 5 and 6, I lost my games 2 and 3, and it was just kind of upsetting. But it is what it is. Like, I was playing a purposefully inconsistent deck, but I'm still kind of happy with how it played. And the next day, I ended up going undefeated at locals with it. So it's not all bad. And the list that I profiled before of this, I won locals with, literally the day after I profiled it. So that was kind of cool. But, yeah, we can get into the list. As you can see, this is a much more dedicated Malacoda variant. So we're playing 3 copies of Malacoda, Netherlord of the Burning Abyss. This camera should be HD enough for you to read this, so I'm not going to read out the effects because some people raged at me in the Noble Knight video for that. But in all fairness, the Noble Knights, my cards were foreign. Some people weren't going to know what they did, so just thought I'd read them out, you know? Be a lad. But don't these look so nice in Ghost on camera with the spotlight on? But yeah, 3 Malacoda, 3 copies of Rubik, because we are still trying to play as consistent a Burning Abyss engine as possible. You want to, in this list, I find that if you open at least 2 Burning Abyss monsters, you shouldn't lose, especially if you open like a Graph or a Seer. You should be in a winning position. So the 3 Rubik, of course the obvious 3 Scum, 3 Graph, 3 Seer, and then I play a number of one-offs. I play 1 Kaga, the Kagna, of course, being the Burning Abyss guy. To send one, you want to be using this to send your ritual spell to the graveyard, so you can be adding your Malacoda. That's usually the best way to add the Malacoda. I'm still only playing 1 Farfa. That's mainly because a lot of the locals I go to at the moment, Clyfort is very, very popular, and this card is almost irrelevant against Clyfort, so I figured why play more. 1 Libic, because it can smash summon Djinns from my hand. I am playing the Djinns in this deck. I was testing more than 1, and like I honestly never found myself needing more than 1. And then I'm playing 1 Calcab, because bouncing your opponent's back row to stick a really powerful Malacoda is really, really important. So if you can put yourself in a position where you can bounce an opponent's back row with a Calcab, you definitely want to do it. Then for the non-Burning Abyss guys, I'm kind of keeping this one kind of quick, I've realised, but it's a very simple list. For the non-Burning Abyss guys, I am playing 3 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld, and Tour Guide gets even better in this list, even better than it normally would be in a Burning Abyss list, because it can add Djinn, Releaser of Rituals, and Djinn, Demolisher of Rituals. Now, Djinn, Releaser of Rituals, you will have seen in my other video, Djinn, the Releaser, of course, when a ritual monster is summoned using it, your opponent cannot special summon. It's really, really powerful, really good, because it allows you to special summon. Your opponent's completely locked out by a Vanity's Emptiness type thing on a 2700 body. What's interesting about the Demolisher, though, is Demolisher makes that same monster indestructible by card effects. Sorry, untargetable by card effects. So imagine if Leo, Guardian of the Sacred Tree, was, of course, it's standard effective, untargetable by card effects. It was also a Vanity's Emptiness for your opponent. Also, it has the standard Malacoda effect of basically being able to honest itself. You know, you're starting to see a really, really powerful lock, and that's exactly what I call this deck. This is a Malacoda lock deck. I had a huge amount of fun with this. The amount of, like, it's actually fairly consistent in this lock. You honestly want to be milling these as fast as possible with your Dantes. Like, you'll often go to 2 or 3 Dantes as fast as possible, or just be searching them off of the Tour Guide when you have the play. So it's kind of, you know, it's good because you can use these in your graveyard. You can banish them from your graveyard for material as well when you're ritual summoning. So that's the complete monster lineup. It's a fair few monsters. It's loads. It's actually loads. So that's the monsters. For the spells, we play a fairly simple spell lineup because the monsters take up so much of the deck, and in all honesty, that's with good reason. The monster lineup is the heart and soul of the deck. As I said, if you open 2 Burning Abyss monsters, you don't really care what spells you didn't open. Like, you kind of want to find the MST, but otherwise there's not too much of a problem. So I play 1 Foolish. It's kind of even more important in the deck. Like, there's so many guys you want to see turn 1. Like, it's just an enabler. Like, you can use it to set up your Djinns. Worst comes to worst, like late game. Or early game, of course, you can be using it to send your graph, special summon another guy. You know, guess your cards from the deck. 2 MST. I still only like maining 2 and siding 1 in Burning Abyss. Especially with like so little room in this one. In my main Burning Abyss deck, like which doesn't play any of the fun stuff. Of course, I play 3 MST because I don't want to lose to Clyfort, but I play 2 in this fun deck and side the 3rd and more outs as well. 3 Good and Evil, the Ritual Spell, standard. Of course, you should be able to pause the video and read it if you need to. And then 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. I hated having to fork out money for these before the reprint, but I needed them for the deck, so I picked them up. Didn't regret it. Absolutely solid card in this deck. Absolutely loved it. So 3 prep. And then, finally, for the traps. The cool thing about prep is, as well, you can really set it up quite well by sending a card with, sending a ritual spell with Kagna. So prep's kind of cool. Then for the traps, I play 3 copies of Firelake, because Firelake is a boss and you can search it with ritual spells, so why not? Like, if you can set this up, it's usually game winning, game breaking, so the 3 Firelake, and then the 3 copies of Vanity's Emptiness, rounding off the trap lineup. That's exactly what I'm playing. I'm hugely happy with this trap lineup. While I do somewhat miss Wing Blast, I feel that Wing Blast is kind of falling out of favour, so that is the complete main deck. Trying to try a new thing. Start with a very, very fast deck profile in this case. For the extra deck lineup, we have the standard 2 copies of Virgil, Rockstar of the Burning Abyss. Just, like, no comment. This card is still absolutely insane. You're going to make it so easily with your Rubiks, so why not play it? We're then playing the 3 copies of Dante, Traveller of the Burning Abyss. I wish I could play 5. I honestly wish I could play so many of this because you make it so many times. Like, it's a standard practice now. If I make my 3rd one of these, the 3rd one is bouncing one of these back to the deck, 100%. Like, I absolutely need Dantes in my life. Then for the one-offs, I play 1 Ghost Trick Alucard, because popping your opponent's back row before you make your Malacoda lock is very strong. Levier, because you will be banishing your Djinns with their effects, so that you can make a ritual summon using them from the grave. So you can Levier, you can Tour Guide into Levier 1 back. Especially if you, like, go Tour Guide, get the other Djinn from deck, detach that other Djinn, special summon back the Djinn that was banished, and then, like, use the ritual spell with the 2 Djinns that you now have in play. So it's kind of cool. We play 1 Zen Mains, 1 Fortune Tune, because winning in time is kind of nice, and in all honesty, it's won me games in time, so why wouldn't I play it? 1 Giga Brilliant, because making Malacoda even bigger and making your other guys even bigger is really important. 1 Acid Golem, because the 3K actually comes in handy quite a lot. 1 Nightmare Shark, 1 Tempo, and 2 copies of Downerd Magician, because playing around Triver or Trevere is actually surprisingly important in this deck. Like, the amount of times where I know my opponent has set up a Triver, but I still need to go Dantes, and I like just make double Dante and then overlay each of them into a Downerd. And I just go, okay, come at me, bounce the Downerds, I search off of these, you know, sorry, I get my ads off of these. It's kind of nice. So yeah, guys, that brings me to about the end of this here little old deck wet profile. I hope you all enjoyed this really quite snappy Malacoda build / deck profile, but I understand that I've done Malacoda before, but this is how I really like running the deck. If you've got any questions, please feel free to, of course, ask. I know I've not really gone over a lot of the mentalities, but a lot of the stuff in here really does just speak for itself. It's not hugely imaginative, but it does the job. A lot of it is very kind of straightforward, but it's definitely a lot of laughs to play. So I'd recommend giving it a little test on Dueling Note, get a few locks, get a bit of salt going. But yeah, as per usual, this has been Jamie the Kid 00. Please feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same. Share this with your friends if you think they would benefit from this. And of course, comment down below if you want to have a little chat with me. And I'll see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. Possibly even, you know, something a bit off the wall like this. We'll see. We'll see what comes next. Have yourselves a good one, folks. Peace out. Bye-bye.